Hi, this is Caroline. Um, I missed Friday. Sorry about that. I was so tired and I forgot about the live streaming. So that makes me think that the Friday time of 8 p.m. is really too late for me to be able to be do a good job and remember even to do a good job at that time. So I'm thinking about maybe adding in a different weekend time that will be available to people and also when I'm more awake because I'm not a night owl anymore. Um, so I apologize for that. What I'm learning a lot about now are my limitations. And so that's just like one of them that I don't want to push through things anymore like I did my whole life. I want to be more courteous to myself, my body. Um, so if anyone has any questions for the guides, just jot them down there in the comment section. I'll just kind of if it seems like a very hi Jen Lee, good to see you. Oh, you have the best questions ever. I just love your questions because they're just the questions that all of us have. Ooh. So I'm gonna read the question. Um, since I was little, to get more attention and love, I've always tried to be someone else. As a result, I've accumulated a lot of things that aren't me inside of me, and that creates discomfort and lowers confidence. Is there a way to shed parts of myself that don't align with my truest self? Or is it better to integrate those parts? Ooh, this is really good. Thank you for that question. I love it. Um, so let's ask Michael. Michael, yeah. So what Michael is saying to start with is that your truest self is your only self. The only self you have is your true self. And so and so I'm not so what seems to be happening is that that's bringing up some fear inside of you, like this fear like, oh, I can't fake it. Like what does that mean? Like if that's my only self, then I can't fake it. And Michael's like, that's the point. You don't have to fake it. That other time when you were faking it, just he's like saying, reflect upon that. Did it work? Did it work? Did it bring you what you wanted? Did it bring you the love and attention that you wanted? And I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, that is not like a workable solution. Like there may be a like temporary sense that, oh yeah, this is working, this is helpful, this is better than other options. But it's not a long-term solution, and something that's not a long-term solution is like not a real solution because it's inaccurate and imprecise. And so Michael's saying, I want you to be who you are. I want you to kind of like dump that other stuff, not integrate it because that's not who you are. And there's something in you that's like, but how do I know the difference? Like it's been so long that I've been like pretending, or I've been like trying, or I've been like um experimenting with these different aspects that it's hard to say what's me and what's not me. So I'm going to ask Michael, like, so how can we tell what is the true self? How can we tell what is the true self? How can we tell what is the true self? Okay, so the first thing in wanting to know what the true self is learning how to tell what the true self is wanting to know what the true self is. So he's saying that's the first issue, is that we're saying like, I want to know what the true self is, but we're saying it, but we're not really wanting it. And so what is it about us that doesn't really want to know what the true self is? And so what Michael is saying is that we're afraid of our greatness. We're afraid of the greatness that is intrinsic to us in our true self. We try to put on these other, like almost like personas, or these other aspects of self. They're like a mantle. They're like really to hide us from ourselves and from others. And so the first thing to do to not be hidden anymore under that mantle of like the false self is to want to know the true self. And so how do we stop being afraid of our own greatness? How do we stop being afraid of our own greatness? How do we stop being afraid of our own greatness? Okay, so he's saying that part of the reason that we're afraid of our own greatness is that we're afraid of what would be asked of us if we were to step into our own greatness. Like it would be too much responsibility, it would be too much work, it would be more than we could bear if we really stepped into who we are. That it would be like really just almost like an encumbrance. And what he's saying is that that's a misapprehension. Like when we step into our greatness, it's not like um, this terrible burden to bear. It's he's saying my burdens are light. My burdens are light. Like it's the easiest thing in the world to step into your greatness. He said the hardest thing is to pretend that you're something that you're not. So really what we're doing is the hardest thing already. And what we should be doing is the easy thing, which is stepping into our greatness. So why do we persist in that hardest thing and tell ourselves that it's easier than the easy thing of stepping into our greatness? Why do we do that? He's like, oh my gosh, he's so hysterical. He's like, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me why you guys persist in like struggling. Why do you persist in the struggle? Why do you persist in doing the hard thing? Why don't you just lay your burdens down? That's he's just like, dude, it's simple. Lay them down. Like, what's the big deal? You're making things more complicated than they need to be. And so for us, we're like, but it feels complicated. Like, what are you talking about? We don't even know the self from the other. Like, it feels complicated. Like, we don't even know which thing is a burden, which thing is the true self. And he's like, you're going about this all the wrong way. This is not the right way to think about it. It's like we're creating confusion and crisis and chaos. We're not going about this the right way. We're just creating, like he's saying, like a stumbling block. And we're like so afraid that he's like seeing through our like guys. Like this was our like strategy to avoid stepping into our greatness, is to make things really complicated. And he's like, no, just stop it, because that's not actually the way things work. And now we're like, oh my gosh, that means I really have to do this thing, stepping into my greatness. Oh my gosh. He's like, stop making excuses. It's not that hard. He's like, you guys like to make excuses for everything. He's not saying this in a mean way. He's just like, direct. He's just tonight, he's being like super direct. He's like just getting to the point. And he's like, I just want you guys to be happy. Like, I know how you guys can be happy. And I just want you to start being happy. Like, why put it off? He's like, when you step into your greatness, that's when you're really going to be happy. When you're wearing this mask, this mantle, you're pretending to be something that you're not. That's the burden. You have to just lay it down. And what he's saying is that you know yourself better than you think you do. And so also he's saying is that to know what is our truest self, we just have to feel into our hearts. And we have to feel, does that feel right? Does that feel true? Is that a yes? Just feeling into our heart. Is there resonance? He's like, it's that easy. Like you can do that. Just what you can do is to like itemize like whatever things they are that you're wondering, like, are they character traits? Are they not character traits? Is this something I'm putting on? Is this something I'm not putting on? Is this something that's true to me or something that's not true to me? So the way to do it in a very sort of analytical way would be to write a list of all that stuff and then to go through each one and just to feel into it and say, is this me? Is this who I am in my heart of hearts? And your heart, your being, your inner knowing will tell you, yes, that's you. You're coming home. Or it will say, no, that was pretense. That was when you were trying to fake it, be someone else, find acceptance and love. And it didn't work, did it? And we're like, that seems too easy. Like it should be hard. Like there's something in us that like wants the struggle. Like we think, oh, I need to struggle in order for this thing to have meaning. And Michael's like, no, you don't. Like the struggle is not what makes the meaning. The struggle is not what makes the meaning. Something has meaning intrinsic to itself. The struggle is superfluous. The struggle is like has nothing to do with anything. It's like a fool's journey. It's like a delay tactic. It's something that we do to distract ourselves from the real purpose and point of life. The struggle is not the point of life. The struggle is not the purpose of life. Being happy, being engaged, being in community, loving each other, caring for each other, being thoughtful, that's the whole point. Learning how to express ourselves, how to really come into our greatness. That's what he's saying. Coming into our greatness. That's the purpose of life. It's not the struggle. So laying down the burdens, laying down the struggle, and coming into this sense like, oh, that feels right. It feels right when I say, I am this way. Yeah, that gives me peace. That makes me feel resonance. And if I say, I am this way, that doesn't sit well with me. That's not like a deep truth. And so that's what Michael is saying, how we differentiate between what is true, our true self, and what is our untrue self, or a mantle that we put on to try to earn or win acceptance and love. um, yeah. Is there anything else, Michael, about that? Is there anything else? And so Michael's just saying it's easier than you think. Like, let it be easy. This doesn't have to be hard. This can be the easiest thing in the world. Um, so yeah. So feel into it, and your body, your being will tell you what is true. What is your true self? And everything else just wants to shed. It just wants to fall off without a struggle, without a fight. Just it wants to drop away because it's effort to keep it. And we want to have the path of least resistance, which is stepping into truth. Anything else, Michael? Anything else, Jinli? So listening to ourselves, asking ourselves, hearing the truth within ourselves of what is authentic in us. We don't have to worry anymore. We don't have to pretend or fight. We can step into our greatness with ease. The hard part is over. We can lay our burdens down. We all get to be great. We are born to be great. We are born to be our authentic selves. It's the easiest part when we stop pretending. Anything else here? Thank you for joining me in this soul reading. On Wednesday, oh yeah, Wednesday I'll be here at 11. I hope you guys have a nice evening, and we'll see you on Wednesday, 11 Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Pacific Time. Bye. Bye, Tiffany.